This is a series in transformation tools. Today we are going to talk about process maps. But before we talk about process maps, let's talk about what is a process. So process is a series of steps taken to accomplish certain outputs. Typically it has a start and an end, and we expect the steps would add value to the input and produce a useful output. Now let's talk about the process hierarchy. Normally what we see is that a process hierarchy consists of 4 levels. The level 1 is the process, the level 2 is a sub-process, level 3 are the tasks, and level 4 are the activities. So typically a process for any given organization can be broadly defined in terms of the major areas that is required for that particular organization to function. So in this particular example, let's say any organization will have processes around finance, marketing, and supply chain. Now, if we want to decompose this process, we go to the level 2. In level 2, we essentially define the process and call them as sub-processes. So for example, within the function of supply chain, we have sub-processes such as manufacturing, purchasing, and logistics. We further break it down at a level where we call them as tasks. And at level 3, for example, logistics will have the tasks such as first mile, middle mile, and last mile. And then finally, the task can be broken down into activities, where in the last mile, we have specific activities such as packing, shipping, and deliver. Now, typically, when we create a process map, it is not necessary that you follow the exact level by level breakdown of the process. Typically, one would like to create a process in as many details as possible, with some logical grouping in terms of process, sub-process, tasks, and activities. So what do we do before we create a process map? So we determine a start and an end point of the process, typically discuss with the subject matter experts, users, and the stakeholders to determine the steps in the process. Very important is to define the hierarchy of the process steps, like what we discussed in the previous slide. Level 1, level 2, level 3, and level 4. Also, a good way is to look at the process in the form of process, sub-process, tasks, and activities. The next step is to fundamentally, when you are creating the process maps, is to use the right symbols. There are many symbols available. The most frequently used symbols are rectangles, which we call as a process steps, a diamond, which is a decision-making node, and the arrows, which shows the flow of the process. One of the next things that you need to do is in terms of identifying the owners of the process. And the owners of the process can be put in a swim lane. And I will explain you what is a swim lane when we create a process map in the Excel. Another very good practice is to put inputs and outputs. As far as possible, step should be described with its inputs and outputs. Finally, once you have completed the process, you should look at testing the flow for completeness. The next thing is to discuss it with the SMEs, users, and stakeholders before you review and finalize the process. So now let's create a process map. So let's open an Excel sheet. Type in project. Give some space here and process level. Say calling this organization process map, and process level is level 1. Now the next thing we can do is create some swim lane. You can merge the first 3 and then drag it Just make it something like it to columns, drag it down. To do that, good thing would be create some sort of width, then give it a border. Once you give it a border, what we essentially are diving platform and a so right diving platform, and maybe I can this we can call as roles, and the rest would process. Right. Level 1 is something that CEO owns. The role is that of a CEO. Now, when it comes to Excel, practically it has got all the tools available to create a process map. In order to find those tools, let's click on the insert, find on the top of the ribbon the Excel sheet. Click on insert, and then you can click in the illustration section, shapes. Go down below, you will see all the symbols that are relevant to create a process flow. Typically at a business level, a good process flow will use primarily maximum about 3 symbols. Let's say we start with a rectangle. So I can create a rectangle like this, type in the finance, and then this could be like a manufacturing. Sales and marketing. Then finally we have something called supply chain. Let's say for the purpose of this example, any company would need finances to start its business or to run its business. Then it will create some manufacturing and the products. In order to meet the requirements of the manufacturing, supply chain will come into picture. And something like this can again connect. And I can just do copy paste, connect it here. So supply chain is responsible for, say, and align them. One more thing. So this look makes it look nice. We can add a few more things here. For example, let's say I can small one. Say start. Create one. I was saying supply chain will source the material, distribute products, then sales and marketing essentially sell the product in. So in a sense, with this 3 sim lane, we can create level 1 process flow map in Excel, and very versatile tool. One of the good things about Excel is that it has got all the necessary symbol to create the process maps, as well as you can create multiple sheets similar to Vishu or any other process mapping tool. So let's say I create a level 1 process here, and now I want further break this down, and I call this as level 2. Simply I can go and pick up, copy paste the level 2. Say this is, I am doing the pickup of say supply chains, and so let's supply chain starts with say procurement, inventory management, and I can say logistics. This and let's say we can move them into their respective swim lanes, and little wonky, so I can choose connector. So let's go to the shapes, and we can use this different connector. Let's copy paste this. And fundamental here for the purpose of completion. A little on the right side. That shows me the complete process. So call this as procurement. Let's call this as inventory management. Let's call this distribution. Again, fairly straightforward. We don't have to do much once we have the basic template available. Again, let's do a drill down and go and create level 3, and simply take, copy paste the entire sheet to level 3, and then rename this as level. Once you do that, let's say we are double clicking on say inventory management. So this will be like, sorry, a distribution. It would be like first mile, middle mile, last mile. That's typical terms used in e-commerce. Let's say this one would be your first mile, last mile, right? Okay, let's go and create level 4 as well. Level 4. Let's do sure this was level 3. This was right, and the supply chain and talking say distribution. Now within distribution, we're going to talk about say last mile. The last mile, they pack the products, or one of the very important thing is to when you are defining the process maps at the activity level, it's important to start the process step with a verb. Let's say print packing step, and this would be say packing operations, right? Then this would be, let's say you have printed the packing slip, say paste on the package, right? Let's say these are the same 2 steps in packing. Okay. example, let's say third process, here decision node, and I create a decision node and say, okay, is it domestic or right? Let's say that the product has to be big or international, right? And let's say a decision box comes here rather than going to the next step. So in box, and I place it between, and then here I say that okay, this is like a domestic shipping department, then this is the international shipping department. Right, for the purpose, I think there could be like hundreds of steps, but for the purpose of this exercise, it's trying to create something that really makes sense and helps us quickly learn the process mapping exercise. So let's say ship on trucks, and then ship, yeah, right. And so, and again, the connector, let's say, copy paste here, and this goes there. It is a yes. Let's say, you can add something like description here. This is like a domestic. And it's good. Let's copy paste here. National. Right, it's fairly straightforward. And then let's say that okay, once you do that steps, process it. So I can just this. Process starts with print of packing slip, pasting on the package. Then a decision has to be made. You are international. Once you make that decision, you will ship trucks, or if it is international, right? And these are the departments that will be responsible for shipping those customers. So in the end, what we do here is look at this level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, and largely level 3, level 4s can be merged together and created into a task and activities. It is a good thing to separate the two, ideally speaking, especially with the level 4 focusing more on the work part in terms of what exactly is happening. And that allows you to create elaborate process maps to end-to-end visibility. And one of the things that you can do is once you create say a department or an organization level process maps, Excel, you can do very simple things like you can say okay, link this to say level 2, right? Essentially what will happen is if I click on this, it will take me to level 2, and again level 2 you can say okay, I'm looking, so link it to the 11th map. I click on say it takes me to level 3, and in this again I'll say link it to level 4, right? So I link this to level 4, and if I click on this, I reach the end of the process of the level 4 of the process. So in a sense, what you see is how hierarchically we can create process maps very effectively, very easily in Excel, and it has got everything that is required for you to capture the end-to-end process. Thank you, and keep watching Transformation Tools.